Welcome to the Canned Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. This is Season 3, Episode 2. Our wine nerd word of the week is pH. It's a term rather than a word. This is a measure of the acidity in a wine, and this is important because it affects the wine's chemical and biological stability. Typically, white wines, wines in general will run from 2.8 to a pH of 4. But white wines, typically the goal would be 3 to 3.5 pH. And that's going to be important a little bit later. But now on to our can of the week. It's the 250 milliliter Bridge Lane Sauvignon Blanc with a 12% alcohol and a pH of 3.2. So right in that mid-range, 3 grams per liter of residual sugar. So not too sweet. And this is the first of a series of wines that we're going to be doing that were winners from the International Canned Wine Competition in Napa. And we're very excited to be opening this. It comes from New York, from Bridge Lane Wines in Long Island, New York, although the grapes themselves are directly coming from Marlborough in New Zealand, which is famous for its Sauvignon Blanc. So it promises to be a great wine with those chops. And this did in fact win the gold medal winner in white wines in the canned wine competition. So that certainly speaks for itself. We received this one from the people at the competition, but locally you could get this at Best Bottles on Broadway. That's the Upper West Side, I think. And even though they're called Best Bottles, they do have a little shelf with some decent selections of cans there. So anytime I'm in that neighborhood, I like to stop by and see what they have. They always have a good and varied selection. So what do we know about this? It was harvested in March of 2023 and bottled in April of 2024 using those New Zealand grapes. It fermented for 22 days at 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a relatively cool temperature. And when you do that, it tends to enhance the fruity flavors and vegetable qualities of a wine. No maceration, so it wasn't chopped to bits, and no malolacto fermentation. So we don't expect to have those buttery consistencies that you would find in something like a Chardonnay. Again, no oak barrels. Was cool fermented and then aged in stainless steel. So we're expecting it to be rather bright and rather with fruit flavors, which is what you generally want in a Sauvignon Blanc. So let's take a look at it. It's a very nice can, a pale green with the Bridge Lane logo on it. And without any further ado, let's open it and see what it's like. Very nice. It has a very pale straw color, and the tasting notes, let's see if it's close to what they say. There is a bit of a grapefruit smell and maybe a kind of a green fresh grass tastes. Very crisp, slightly acidic, does have some legs, very clear color. What could you pair this with? Generally, these are good with things that aren't roasted vegetables, something like a Brussels sprout, asparagus, maybe some cheeses like a cheddar, a Monterey Jack, or a Swiss cheese. Now, a shout out to all of our fans on Spotify. We're going to be publishing this on Spotify, but I'm giving you a heads up that we are changing formats. We're likely going to move to YouTube, and you may notice if you're watching this on YouTube that we're using a wide a wide format. So that's why that is. So keep an eye out for that. Over the next little while, we'll be doing both, and then we'll probably just switch to strictly YouTube, and you can see the pourings as always on Instagram. Now our head scratcher, first off, the answer to last week's head scratcher, where did the top rated wine come from at the canned wine, International Canned Wine Competition? Well, that came out of Canada's Okanagan Valley, and it is Stag Hollow Winery, and that won the Best in Show. So we're working towards opening that. We don't want to go to the top right away, but eventually we will get to that one, and we're very excited about that. So right now our head scratcher is we're in the second week of September. So if you want to scratch your head a little bit, currently in upstate New York, they're harvesting a particular variety of grape. So tune in to us next week and we'll let you know what they're harvesting currently. So in closing, thank you for tuning in to the Canned Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. Remember that you have to enjoy responsibly, and just because it comes in a can doesn't mean you can drink and drive. The Canned Wine Podcast is a Center Stage production, all rights reserved.